Hi everyone, it is February 8th, 2017, and this is episode 101 of Serenova Crafts. I'm your host Jessica. I can be found as Serenova on Ravelry and Twitter, and as Serenova Crafts on Instagram. You can find the show notes for today's episode on my blog or in the Ravelry group. Links down below if you're watching on YouTube. Also, I will link to the show notes. I'll link to the video in the Facebook group I started for this. I normally host a virtual knit night on Thursdays, but with my work schedule, that's not going to be happening for a couple of weeks, unfortunately. It will happen tomorrow, but the next couple of weeks after that, it won't happen. It's just the work schedule, and I just need to be closing on those Thursday nights for the next few weeks, so we'll see next time the VKN happens. Thank you everyone for all the well wishes on my 100th episode. I really appreciate it. It's glad to know that, 2 years was actually, worth it, and really nice to keep up with this and keep going. So, today's episode is going to be a little on the shorter side. I finished one project, so I do have a faux, and then I have one whip that I've been working on, mainly because this is a deadline one, and then as soon as this is done, I have to cast on something that has a deadline of, the end of March. So, yeah, I'm going to be pretty much mono-knitting for the next, month and a half, but, I'm working on it. I am going to be at SPA, which is the New England Textile Arts retreat at the end of February. That is the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. It is in Freeport, Maine. And while I didn't get tickets to the fashion show there, because that's a first-come, first-served basis, and at the time they released the link, I was kind of at work, and I couldn't go and get tickets. So, fortunately, I'm not going to be seeing the fashion show this year. Hopefully someone will share pictures with me. But I will be there, and I will be there from Friday morning through Sunday afternoon. I'm spending 2 nights. My mom and one of her friends are going to be joining me. My mom's not really a knitter, and her friend, as far as I know, is the yarn crafter, but they're treating it kind of as a weekend away, so that'll be really nice. And a bunch of my ladies from my local knit group and my local knit shop are all going as well, so it should be a really good weekend. But if you're a viewer and you see me there, feel free to come up and say hi. That is totally cool. And, yeah, I'd be happy to talk to you if you're actually going to be at SPA as well. So, let's see. I'm also going to Anime Boston at the end of March. And that is, if you can't tell by the name, a really big anime con in Boston, held at the Heinz Convention Center, which is at the Prudential Center in Boston, also known as the Pru. Don't ask me why it's called the Pru, it's just called the Pru. Probably because Prudential Center is a mouthful, so everyone just calls it the Pru. Or the Heinz, right? Instead of the Heinz Convention Center, it's just the Heinz. Anyways, it's 20 to 30,000 people. They max out occupancy of this convention center, right? It's been going on for years. In the past, I wasn't able to go because it usually overlaps Passover, actually, because it's usually Easter weekend. And Easter and Passover normally overlap, but, it's not Passover this year, nor is it Easter, so it means I don't need to worry about food or anything, because the reasons I didn't go when it was on Passover is I might not keep kosher, but I do keep, Passover kosher, right? So I won't eat bread or bread products or anything like that. And it's incredibly hard to eat out, as people who are celiac or gluten intolerant or whatever will understand, it's incredibly hard to eat out when you can't have any of that stuff. So I'm what's the point? I have to bring all my own food for the weekend, and that kind of ruins part of the fun. But I've been going for the last few years. Kevin and I go together. We have a great time. He's actually printing the cat bus from my neighbor Totoro. He's actually got a print going right now that he started this morning before he left for work. But I'm going to be there as well. So if you happen to be a knitter who watches my podcast, who is also going to Anime Boston, and you see me, feel free to say hi. I will say at Anime Boston, I will probably be wearing a wig, because I'm not really doing costumes, but I am going to do a little bit of dress up, and there's a couple of wigs I've been eyeing on Amazon that aren't that expensive, and they're a really easy way to just kind of dress up a little bit, so I might be in a wig, which means you might not recognize me real easily. But, if you're going to be there and you see me, say hi. I'll probably have some knitting on me or in my hands or something. Anyways, back to what you're come here for, which is the knitting content. So I'm going to start with my faux, which is the Daybreak I knit for myself. I have not yet woven in the ends, nor have I yet blocked this, but it is, in fact, cast off. So here you go. You can see, done. hold it up so you can see the stripes better. There we go. That's actually some good color there. So I ran out of the second color here, which is the aged cedar in the Sonder yarn from my local shop. So this color is rock pool, and this color is aged cedar. It's not really coming up as bright as it is in real life on my screen, because basically my entire camera is washed out because there's a crap ton of fresh snow outside and we're getting all that white light reflecting. So everything's slightly washed out in my camera right now. Unfortunately, there's not too much I can do about that. Because I'm not in the second bedroom where my desk is, because I didn't want printer noise in the background of this whole video, because the printer noise can actually get really annoying after a while. And I figured y'all wouldn't want to listen to printer noise for, you know, however long I'm talking. So, but if I hold it close enough, you can kind of see, right? It's a little deeper, a little bluer than it looks, you know, when I hold it back here. So I did 20 stripes total, and then I did the ridges at the bottom with the aged cedar, but I didn't have enough aged cedar for a regular bind-off, let alone the I-cord bind-off like I wanted to do, so I used the rock pool, and I did an I-cord bind-off with the rock pool. And I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I just need to weave in the ends and block it, and it'll be good to go. And it's a decent size, so on me it'll be, you know, a smallish shawl, but it will be, you know, a shawl that I can actually, you know, wear. And everyone from my local shop is making the same pattern, but we're all in different colors and stuff. You know, if I just stick a shawl pin in that, it'll stay. So it's actually, you know, a nice, decent size. And I've been working on the one for my mom, which is the one whip I have. So yay, whips! This is in my Stitch by Just Lou bag with the Enterprise, because it's like my favorite bag ever. So I have finished, I believe, 12 stripes of hers. Now hers is going to be a lot bigger because hers is out of worsted weight. And this is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted in the light purple is Haze Heather and the dark purple is Claret Heather. So Haze Heather and Claret Heather. So Claret and then Haze is the light. So I've done 12 stripes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, I've done 12 stripes. You can see how my mom's is already getting close to the size of mine, and I'm not even done the stripes yet. So, but, you know, my mom is larger than me, so she needs a larger shawl. Because my shawl would be like a shawlette on her. Because there's no way my mom and I could ever share clothes in a million years. We are two completely different sizes. And I mean that as nothing bad to my mom, honestly. There's nothing bad about that. But she's taller than me as well, so really it just would never ever work. I can't even wear her jewelry because she wears like really large stuff and I can't wear large stuff. I'm like petite compared to my mom. So yeah, you can see here how hers is darker than mine overall, but it is actually close to the same size at the moment, because if I unroll it, you know, if I unroll it, it's like almost the size of mine. If I put mine underneath, you'll see how close it is right now. So by the time I finish her stripes, see that? Yeah. By the time I finish her stripes, it will be as big as my shawl. But, you know, she asked for the colors, and she's very happy with it, and she asked for purple because she is a red hat lady. So she wanted purple because their colors are red and purple. So, I think I'm going to do 16 stripes instead of 20, because the pattern says you can do 12, 16, or 20. I have the 12 here, but I have enough yarn that I can, in fact, do at least 16, because this is how much I have of the darker color left. And I have, like, 2.5 balls of the main. So, I guessed right on the amount of yarn to order, and I think I'll be able to get 16 stripes for my mom out of it, and then the border, and then I'm going to do an I-cord in the contrast, right? I'm going to do the same like mine, I'm going to do the I-cord at the bottom. So that is basically it. And I am at 10 minutes on this, but you know, between work and everything, and my classes, though I did knit a lot of this in my class this past week, I just have not had as much free time. And like last night when I got home from work, I did a close shift. I was super tired, and I honestly was just too tired to knit. I just kind of stared at the computer for a little while and went to bed. But you know, hopefully, you know, as my classes taper out and I'm not doing quite so many closing shifts at work, I will in fact be able to be able to knit a bit more. So, fingers crossed, here's to hoping that I get slightly more productive soon and I can have slightly longer episodes again. Anyways, I think that's just about it. VKN this week, but not necessarily the next few following weeks. And I will be at Spa in Freeport, Maine from February 24th to the 26th. So if you see me, feel free to come say hi. So I hope you have a good one, and hopefully I will see you next week. Bye!